Hello, Chancy first graders. We are on our final book for NTI Week 3 assignments, and it's a great book about unpredictable friends named Amos and Boris. And the author of the book is William Steig. So let's find out about Amos and Boris. Amos, a mouse, lived by the ocean. He loved the ocean. He loved the smell of the sea air. He loved to hear the surf sounds and the bursting breakers, the backwashes with the rolling pebbles. Loved the ocean, that mouse. Amos. He thought a lot about the ocean, and he wondered about the faraway places on the other side of the water. One day, he started building a boat on the beach. He worked on into the daytime while night he decided to study navigation. When the boat was finished, he loaded it with cheese, biscuits, acorn, honey, everything he'd need for the trip. A needle and thread to mend the torn sails, and various other things like yo-yos and playing cards for fun. So there's his boat. On the 6th of September, with a very calm sea, he waited till the high tide had almost reached his boat, and then using his most savage strength, he managed to push the boat into the water, and he climbed aboard and he set sail. The rodent, for that was his boat's name, proved to be a very well made and very suited for the sea. He enjoyed his trip immensely. It was beautiful weather. On the waves of the mountain, there he is, going up and down and up and down. He loved his life. One night in a phosphorus sea, he marveled at the sight of some whales spouting luminous water, and later, laying on the deck of his boat, he was overwhelmed by the beauty and the mystery of everything, and he started to roll. He rolled right off the deck of his boat and into the sea. Oh my goodness. Help, he squeaked as he grabbed desperately to the rodent, but it evaded his grasp and it went bowling under the full sail, and he never saw his boat again. And there he was. In the sea, in the middle of the immense ocean, 1,000 miles from any near shore. Should I try to swim home, he thought? What if a shark got me, or some big fish, like a horse mackerel? What was he supposed to do? He didn't know, and he was really scared. Morning came, as it always does, and he was terribly tired. He was a very small, very cold, and very wet, worried mouse. And there was still nothing in sight but the empty sea. And then, as if things weren't bad enough, it started to rain. Oh no. He began to wonder, is he going to drown? Would it take really long? This is just awful. And as he was asking himself these dreadful questions, a huge head burst through the surface of the water and loomed up over him. It was a whale. What kind of fish are you? The whale asked Amos. I'm not a fish at all, said Amos. I'm a mouse, which is a mammal, the highest form of anything on life on land. Holy clam and cuttlefish, said the whale. I'm a mammal too. My name is Boris. Amos and Boris. Amos introduced himself and told Boris how he came to be in the middle of the sea. The whale said he would be happy to take Amos to the Ivory Coast. But Amos said, but could you help me home to my house? No, I wouldn't mind at all, said Boris. I would consider it a privilege. So Amos climbed on top of Boris's back. Are you sure you're a mammal? Said Amos. You smell a lot like a fish. Then Boris the whale went swimming along with Amos the mouse on his back. What a very nice friendship. What a relief to be safe, thought Amos. And then all of a sudden, he was in the water again. Oh no. Hitting the water hurt him. Ow! And Boris said, "Oh my goodness, I forgot you were there." So from then on, whenever Boris wanted to make a sound and come up and get air in his air spot, he warned Amos in advance, and he got his okay. And when that happened, Amos would jump in and get a little swim. That's nice, right? So he wasn't scared going in the water. Oh no. Swimming along, sometimes at great speed, sometimes slowly and leisurely, and sometimes resting and exchanging ideas. Amos and Boris became very good friends. They became the closest friends possible. They told each other all about their lives and what their ambitions were. There they are, talking, getting to be really great friends on the way home. The time came to say goodbye. They were on the shore. "I wish we could be friends forever," Boris said. "We will be friends forever, but we can't be together, 'cause I must live on this land and you must live on the sea." "And you can be sure I'll never forget you," said Amos. The whale couldn't take Amos all the way into land, so they said goodbye, and Amos dived off Boris's back and swam to the land. From the top of the cliff, he watched Boris spout twice and disappear. Boris laughed to himself. How in the world does this mouse think he could ever help me? And Boris went to his conference on the Ivory Coast of Africa. And Amos went back on land. Many years after the incident just described, when Amos was no longer a young mouse, and when Boris was no longer a young whale, there occurred to be the worst storms of the century. It was a hurricane named Yetta, and it just so happened that Boris the whale was flung ashore by the rough water. Oh my goodness. It also just happened that the storm had cleared up and Boris was lying high and dry on the sand, on the beach where Amos lived. "Oh, help me, please," Boris said. Of course, Boris and Amos recognized each other right away. Amos rushed toward Boris. Boris could only look at Amos. Boris couldn't barely talk because he was out of the water, and whales need to be in the water. "Amos, help me," he said. "Oh no, what can I do?" "I'm afraid he's not going to be able to help me," Boris said to himself. "Much as he wants to do something, what could a little fellow like him do?" Let's see. Just had Amos had once felt all alone in the middle of the ocean, Boris felt now lying alone on the shore. He's sure that he was not going to make it. Oh no. Then Amos came racing back with two of the biggest elephants you could ever imagine. Without wasting any time, those two good-hearted elephants got to pushing the mighty whale and his huge body into the water, while Amos stood on their back and he yelled instructions like, "Go!" In a few minutes, Boris was already in the water with waves washing at him. He was feeling the wonderful wetness. You have to be out of the sea really to know how it feels to be back in it again, he thought. Soon he was able to wiggle and wiggle into the deep, deep water. Yay! He looked back at Amos on the elephant's head. Tears were rolling down the great whale's cheeks. The tiny mouse had tears in his eyes too. "Goodbye, friend. Goodbye, dear friend," rumbled Boris, and he disappeared into the waves. They knew they might never meet again, but they knew they would never forget each other for as long as they lived. The end. So remember, the one thing that we've been working on all week is, who are the characters in this story? What happens to the characters? What problem happens, and how is that problem solved? So we're going to talk more about that in our special small group about Amos and Boris. Hope you enjoyed the book, and I'll see you very shortly. Thanks, friends.